Hello everyone, it's Jen with Creative Housewives, and I am here today to teach you how to make one of the easiest projects that you can make with your Cricut machine. A card. I'm going to teach you how to make this birthday card. This is an insert card, and it's really fun and it's super easy, especially if you are using the new Cricut card mat. So this is the Cricut card mat 2x2. You would use this with any of the Explore or Maker machines. There's also a Cricut card mat for the Cricut Joy. So you can make this project on any Cricut machine. And I'm going to teach you not only how to make the card itself, but I'm going to teach you how to use your Cricut machine to write on the inside. So I'm going to teach you how to set things up so that it will write with your Cricut machine and how to find writing fonts. So let's just jump into Design Space and I'll show you where I found all these things. Okay, we're here in Design Space. Let's go ahead and look at what project that we're going to make. I'm going to go ahead and select projects here. And then I'm going to, on my categories, I'm going to drop down to cards. And I am going to search birthday. I need a birthday card for this week. And then let's just look through really quick. I have a few different options. I want one that gives me the ability to customize. So let's see if this one that just says happy birthday, it's cute, gives me the ability to customize. It does. So I can select my finish size here, and then I can come over here and select customize. So now that I've done that, what it's going to do is it's going to stick it here on my canvas. So now I have this. If I wanted to go through and contour, do anything, I could do that here. But I want to use this. I don't want to change the card itself. What I want to do is I want to be able to add text to the inside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come here to text. And I am just going to add some text. But before I do that, I need to make some changes. So if I were to say, let's go ahead and change this. So we'll just start here. So we have my niece's name, it says Jana. Now, if I click on here, up here, it has the operation as a basic cut. Now, if I just change this here to a pen drawing, this is when you end up with the outline type writing. The reason it does this is because right now, this is a like a cut file. So what's happening is that the pen is just following the cut lines. So that's what's happening here. That's why you get that bubble, and that's why the Cricut can't fill it in, because it's following the cut line. It's just following where the blade would go. So to get around that, what we need to do is we need to change our operation here to pen, and then we need to find a font that has a writing style. So I'm going to come here to fonts. I'm going to click on the drop down. You can see that I'm here in Cricut. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here to filters, and then I'm going to select writing. So this is now only going to show me the fonts that have a writing style. So I can just go through these really quick. I can look and see like which ones I think look cute. Let's just go ahead. I want something kind of simple. So let's try out this one. So I've clicked on that. You can see that it's changed it. Now my operation up here kicked back to basic cut. So if I drop down and I click pen, it's still giving me this look. So what I need to do now is I've changed my operation. I have a font that has a writing style. Now I need to come here to style. I need to click down and I need to change my style to a writing style. Just because I picked writing like a font that has one doesn't mean that that's what's going to pull it up. So now you can see I just have a single stroke font here. So I can now take this, I can click it up here a little bit. I can go ahead and finish my message. So let's just go ahead to the end there. We'll go ahead and type. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I need to obviously make this smaller because it's a little gigantic. and I want it to be able to fit here so we can see it. So that's still obviously significantly wider than the card, but I'll go ahead and mess with that in a minute. So the front already says happy birthday. I'm just saying we love you so much. And then I'm going to add a new text box. So when I add that new text box, it's just pulling it up with the same font and settings that I had before, which is awesome. So now I'm just going to say happy 18th birthday, if I can type. Okay, so we've got that. We'll go ahead and leave that here for a minute. So we've got this all set. So now what I'm going to do is I could just leave this how it is, or I can mess around with the font a little bit. So if I want this to be like a true script font, what I can do is I have this selected, so I can come up here to letter space, right here to letter space, and start kicking these letters closer together. So you can see just by clicking letter space down, my letters are getting closer, which is what I want because I want it to look like an actual script. But I will tell you that when you do this, I feel like it is never perfect. So like right here, you can see my V and my E are super close. And then like my S and my O are just barely touching, but that's closer, which makes it easier to work with. So now I have those all together. I'm going to come up here to advanced. I'm going to say ungrouped letters. So now what I can do is I can click on, like I can just highlight. Oh, no, I don't want to move it. Don't want to move that little guy yet. So I can highlight like my comma and my A and my N, because I feel like those are pretty good spaced right there. And now you can either just slide around with your mouse, but what I really like to do is I like to use the arrow keys on my keypad because that allows me just to bump it over a tiny bit. So do you see that? I clicked my arrow key and it just barely bumps it just a touch, which is great for adjusting fonts. So watch, I'll do it again. Okay, so now it's too far. So you can see we've got a gap there between our letters. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select those again and I'm going to bump it back one more. And now they're touching just like a tiny bit. So now I can take all of those, because they all I feel like look good. They're touching just a little bit, and move them a little closer to my J there. And I can also take my J itself and I can bump it up just a little bit. I feel like the way it's set, it looks a little like a T. So by using those arrows, I just love it. I feel like it just kicks it just a little bit. I kind of wish this top little line wasn't here. I feel like that makes it look more like a T, but she knows her name, so I think it'll be fine. So now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on my exclamation point here because I do not like the way it looks like it's touching the H there. And I'm just going to quickly go through and I'm going to work on each of my letters and just getting these lined up. So that'll take just a couple minutes. And the great thing about this is that you really can do it to what you think looks good. Like it is completely up to you. So I just don't like, so typically, you know, your C would just feed right up into your H, but I don't like that when the C is, or the H is right next to the C, it's almost touching here too. I don't like the way that looks. Looks like my Y. I think I'm going to try touching it over just a tad. That looks good. My S just a tiny bit. And then I'll just keep doing this until I have them all the way done. Okay, so now you can see that I have this all laid out. I've got it so that it fits. I just sized it until it fit in that same area that we have there. And now we can go ahead and we can kick over to make it. I selected that I'm using the Maker 3. Literally this project can be made on any Cricut machine. The only thing that you're going to be having a size determination with is if you're using the Cricut Joy, the size card I used is too big for the Cricut Joy. So you would have to pick the smaller sized card. I think it can go up to the R30 maybe. and I picked the R40. So that is literally the only thing that we have to worry about. So now I'm going to go ahead and select make it, and it's going to sort my projects onto mats by color. And now, so see, it's automatically, this is awesome. It's automatically picking that I have it on the mat. So if I click here, you can see it says that I have the R40 4.75 by 6.625. That's the size that I am using. And then on here, I'm going to change this also to R40. So now that's taking up this area, and what it's doing is it's automatically putting this centered. Now we have a bunch of people in our family, so I want to move this up so that we can all have space at the bottom to sign our names. So I can actually slide that up. So now we have this room around the bottom, but this is already saying that this is where it's going to be. So it does have it on 2 mats, and this is actually perfect for me because what's going to happen is I'm going to have it cut the card first. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. I could have it right on the card or cut the card first. But what we're going to do is we're going to load the card in. So let's say we're writing first just because that's what's here at the top. We're going to load the card in so that the inside is out, let it do the writing, then take the card out and then put it in the right way and then proceed and do the cut. So it says 2 different mats. I'm just going to use the same mat, but that will give me that break in time to be able to turn my card the other way, or like flipped it so that the outside is out. All right, so we're here. So now we can jump over to the machine and we can get making this cute card. Okay, I have all my supplies. I have my Maker 3, which we'll look at more here in just a moment. I have my Cricut pen set. This is just their 1.0 pens in all the different colors. You can use any pen. You can use the pen that came with your machine. I haven't decided what color I'm going to use yet, but I have these pens. I have my little spatula, which is great for picking up the end when you're taking your card off the card mat. I have an insert card. I have a scraper for cleaning everything off my mat, and the insert card piece. Seriously, you need next to nothing to make these cards when you have the insert card. It's so easy, or the insert card mat. It's so easy and so fun. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Now I'm going to, this is the liner for the insert card mat, and it's just on the one side. So you can take it off of one side, both sides, whatever you need to do. And then I'm going to turn this way just because it's easier for me to show you. And then we're going to just slide the card under the mat. So this is the card normal. So if I was just cutting out the front of the insert card and wasn't writing, this is how I would slide it in, and it would be great just like that. Now, because I want to write on the inside of my card, I'm going to turn it right side or inside out. And now I need this part, so the part that we're going to write on the top. So I'm going to fold the front back, and I'm going to slide it into the insert card mat. So we're just going to go ahead and slide it under, and then we always want to make sure that we have it pushed as far up and as far over as we can so that it is really fitting in there, and that will help all of our cuts be nice and centered. Now, the other thing that I think is important when you are using the insert card mats is to use a brayer. That was the one thing I hadn't grabbed out yet, because you want to stick that down. This is made to like release your cardstock, the adhesive on it to release your cardstock really easy, which means that it's not crazy sticky. So use the brayer. That'll make sure it's stuck down really well for you. And then go ahead and slide my machine forward. And then we just go ahead and load it in. Oh wait, nope, I've missed a very important step. We're gonna go ahead and unload it because I forgot to do something very important. When you're using the card mat is actually a bit thicker than your normal mats. Luckily there's nothing wrong with it. It didn't do anything, but you are supposed to move all of your star wheels, which are these little things, to the middle. So we're gonna go ahead and slide those over. I think they slide easier when you do them one at a time. And we want them lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this here so I can see where I'm at. We want them lined up in the middle so that they're not running over the actual card itself. And now I need to pick a pen color. Okay, so I'm gonna use this pen just because I pink on pink I think is cute. This is a gel style pen in party pink. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that open. I'm gonna stick my finger underneath the carriage and then stick the pen in, and then I'm gonna push it down until we hear the click. So we want it to actually click in place. That's make sure it's held in place. So we can go ahead and now we can push this in. Go ahead and unload it. And then let it do its writing. Okay, there we go. We have the writing portion done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my card off. Like I said, I like to use my little spatula. I think it just gets under the edge really well. And then that makes it easy, now that I have the edge lifted, to be able just to gently pull it away from the back, from the mat. Now we're gonna take it, and we're gonna flip it, making sure that my writing is the correct way. Then we'll go ahead and we'll slide it in, just like we did before. Let's get that out of the way for a second. Making sure it's pushed all the way in and up. Get it slid all the way over. Use our brayer. This is especially important with cutting. Go ahead and load our mat again. And then we'll go ahead and let it cut. Okay, so now we've got that done. We can close that up, slide our machine out of the way, and then again, using the spatula to get right under the edge of the card itself. We're just gonna slowly work our way, being careful of these edges here that don't have a lot of room along them. And then we're just gonna go ahead and lift the card off the mat. Being careful not to tear any of the little pieces. Slide it out. So now our card looks like this. Fun, but not the cutest with the words and stuff showing through. So now we get to add the insert. The insert's easy to add. You just slide it into the corners. And there you go. We have a birthday card done in, oops, hold on, almost done. Let's pop out this little tiny star that didn't want to let go. Okay, now we have a birthday card done in just a couple of minutes, super fast, and hopefully you learned something new about being able to add text to the inside of a card, how to find a writing font. I love the insert cards. I will say I feel like on this one, I definitely have more space between the top here and the bottom here. And I thought I had it pretty well centered on here, but I was obviously not quite as centered as I wanted to be. But there you go, a finished card. And there you go. It really is that easy with just a few supplies. Again, I just used an insert card, and the insert card kits come with the card itself and the inserts along with the envelopes. So you'll have everything you need there. You just need a pen. You can use, the Cricut machines come with a pen, so you can use the pen that came with it. I also like to use a brayer to help keep things stuck down, like keep your cardstock stuck down to the mat. And I like to use a spatula. The spatula is great because it's nice and thin on the end, so it's great for getting up under the edges, especially with insert cards where these cuts can run close to the edge. And then a scraper. The scraper specifically, I just use that for cleaning everything off the mat when I'm done cutting, keeping the mat nice and clean. You will want a card mat. Things like writing inside cards are so much easier with the card mat because the machine just knows that you're making a card. So instead of trying to like put it up in like as high up in the corner of your material as it can, it knows that you're trying to make a card, and so it puts it right in the middle. That's what I did, is I just left it in the middle and then slid it up so that we'd have room for signing at the bottom. Obviously, we could also sign on the back of the insert if we wanted to as well. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that we answered any questions that you might have about making an insert card or writing on the inside of an insert card or the inside of any card. I guess it doesn't have to be an insert card. If you found this helpful, we'd love to have you subscribe here to our YouTube channel, and I'd love to have you leave a comment and tell me maybe something that you learned new or a project that you'd like to see us make in the future. I'll be back again next week with a brand new project to make a brand new project that we will be making from start to finish so that you can know exactly everything that you need and how to make it by the time that you're done watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.